Hey everybody, Greg Harrelson here with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and my co-host Abe Safa, also with Century 21, the Harrelson Group, and we have another week of numbers, of data, of commentary around the Myrtle Beach real estate market. First off, Abe, good to see you again.
Hey Greg, always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the numbers that you're going to show. I just working in the real estate business on a daily basis, I have a feeling I can predict which direction it's heading. But before we get into that, you and I were talking a little bit about the condo market. A lot of times we talk about the residential market, which is really an amazing market right now. It's still extremely hot, but the condo market is really heating up. And if for those of you that have tuned in for multiple shows, multiple weeks, you'll see that the condo market has been increasing, but it just seems like right now it's on fire. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's no question. So the single family home market has just been on a tear for a while now, right? And condos definitely doing better than they ever have, with the exception of the real estate bubble back in 2007. But now we're all of a sudden, because there's just no inventory out there for homes, we're starting to see the condo market really start to take off.
Yeah.
So when we start looking at the condo numbers, you're going to see some pendings that are really strong. And you and I were talking about, some of the communities out there, and I made a few notes just for an example, like Barefoot Resort.
Yeah.
Like, there's over 700 properties in Barefoot Resort as a whole, between condos and homes. There's 12 homes on the market right now, okay, in all of Barefoot Resort, but 10 of them are under contract. One is on a hold, don't show, and only one is available for sale.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to be in Barefoot, you got one option. And
we get buyers, right? We get buyers calling us, I want to live in Barefoot Resort.
No question.
And so in that scenario, we would only be able to show one property, and the likelihood that property is going to be around in the next week is unlikely.
Yeah, it's only been on the market about, I think, 10 days or so. But it's not gonna. It'll be gone. It'll be gone soon. Yes. But there's only one home in all of Barefoot. And then when you look at condos, you know how many condos there are in Barefoot? There's only 13 on the market in all of Barefoot.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is nuts. Myrtle Beach Resort, which is one of those areas where, they've had some issues as far as, there's just not been much appreciation there and not been much demand. If you look at the A building right now, there's only 2 units for sale in the entire A building. I mean, that number is usually 15, 20. I've seen as many as 25 at one time. In the B building, there's only 7 units for sale.
Yeah.
In the tower, there's 11 units. And in 5 Seasons, there's nothing on the market.
I was looking in River Oaks. So I was doing research. I'm going to help somebody sell a property in River Oaks. This is, for those of you that don't know, that's a golf course condo, not an oceanfront condo. So it's off the ocean. And, I've been selling condos in River Oaks for I have to say 20 years. I mean, it's been a many, many years. Maybe it's 15 years, however long it's been built. And in just about every year, there's a minimum of 20 to 40 units for sale. This morning, I'm doing my research. There's 1 unit for sale that's not under contract. Another 10 to 12 units are under contract, and dozens have actually sold already this year. But again, if I had a buyer, I could only show them 1 condo in that community. And then you sit there and say, well, now that's holding steady or true for just about every condo community along the beach. What would you see, though, as the difference in level of activity on the oceanfront versus the off the ocean? Are we seeing that one is performing a little bit better, or are they tend to be slightly equal?
Yeah, I think off the ocean is performing better right now. And off the ocean, we're actually seeing appreciation.
Yes.
So let's take Barefoot Landing, Barefoot Resort, Ironwoods.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, those things were selling in the 130s, right? And then all of a sudden last year, we're like, man, I sold one, I think, at 145 or 150, which was a great sale. Now there's one pending in there at 179.9.
Holy
yeah. I mean, I mean, River Oaks, the same exact scenario. Across the board, the Carolina Forest, Turnberry Park, There's a lot of magnolia. All the magnolias or have appreciated right now because the inventory is so tight right now. We're seeing sellers get much higher prices there. The difference between off the ocean and on the ocean is there seems to be more demand, and we see appreciation there. We're not seeing the appreciation on the ocean front, or at least I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest difference between the two.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm thinking with the off the ocean properties, there are people that are being priced out of residential homes, and they're being forced to go into condos. You know, I in Berkshire Forest would be an example of a condo that I put on the market, and for 119, I believe, or 118, it ended up selling around $7,000, $8,000 over full price, and it had multiple offers, and it sold in about 2 days. Okay. Yeah. And that's not like a resort condo. That's not on a golf course. It's not on an ocean. So people are not buying that because they're going to buy it so they can be on like that's not their golf getaway. It's one of those properties that is seeing appreciation and increased demand because the buyer couldn't afford, or there was no homes available. In this case, it's they can't afford it because, you know, what they could afford last year in a residential home in Carolina Forest, they can no longer afford it. So now they have to look at the condos, but they still want to be in Carolina Forest. So they're going to kind of go down to a condo, but stay in the same community because it's affordable. That's one of the reasons why the off the ocean condos are doing so well. The oceanfront condos, you know, they're definitely doing well, and you'll show us the numbers on those. Right. But you typically don't find somebody that is going from their first choice being a home, and then they go to an oceanfront condo. It's still oceanfront condos are still being sold for people that are second homes. They want to use them, maybe put them on a rental program, etc. But they're not going to live in them full time. Most of the sales are not to full-time residents.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and we're seeing, you know, a lot of those condos off the ocean, you know, some people, just like you said, they're either priced out of the residential or they just can't find anything. There's just no homes available. So some people are buying those as a temporary, maybe a stepping stone. Some people are buying them because they're going to be retiring in a couple of years and just want a place to have until they retire and then buy a home. So that's why we're seeing much more demand off the ocean than we are on the ocean.
I agree. Right now. Yeah, I agree. Well, why don't we go ahead and get to some numbers? Let's take a look at the numbers and see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. Let's hop over to the numbers real quick. So single family homes, 67.92% of inventory right now in resales are on the. This is overall single family homes are under contract. Mm-hmm. So that number just keeps increasing every single week, Greg. You notice, and I just. You know, I don't know if it's ever going to level off. You know, I mean, every time we feel like, okay, well, this has to be the top, all of a sudden we just go up again next week. So we're just not getting any relief from anywhere as far as residential homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I can't even fathom that hitting 70%. But like, if you show me 70% in the next couple of weeks, I hate to say it, I'm not going to be shocked, even though I can't right now. I can hardly believe it. But I'm going to believe anything you show me now because, you know, we're beyond that we're beyond logic. It's like there's not a lot of data that we could show anybody that would say, oh, that would have predicted this. Let's just put it that way. That would have predicted it. I mean, we're beyond it now.
Yeah, I mean, plain and simple, there's more people that want to buy than people that want to sell.
Yeah.
We just can't get enough sellers out there to fulfill the demand that's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I heard the Amazon package just got delivered to your house.
That was my wife walking up asking for my wallet.
That's right.
On live stream. Love it. So resale homes, 66.82% of every home on there is under contract. And again, I do want to emphasize it feels even worse than that. If you're working with buyers right now, if you're a buyer, it's pretty frustrating out there. We're putting homes on there and they're selling in a day. Yeah. You know, we're getting multiple offers in a day. And it's just, if you have thought at all about selling right now and you've got a single family home, you've got to, it's just got to do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and here's what I've said to a few people, you know, that have said, hey, should I sell right now? And I I always say, before I just say yes, I'm not an automatic yes to that.
Okay.
I would immediately say, well, it depends on what you're looking to accomplish. Like, do you want to sell, and where are you going to move? So you have to have kind of like some sort of vision of what you're going to do. But I am telling people that if you're thinking of selling anytime in the next 1 or 2 years, it would be worth looking at selling now. That's not because I'm predicting the market's going to go down in 1 to 2 years, but I do know that at some point it reaches a peak and it starts to kind of come down. And we don't know what's going to happen with interest rates. We don't know if some tax advantages and tax breaks are going to be taken away, and then and that might cause a little bit of a softening in the market. Again, I don't want to predict those things, but I can say we are breaking records right now. And so if you're thinking about doing something even a year out, it might be worth the conversation to determine if it's smart right now financially to move up your plans to take advantage of the price points. And I understand the conversation there could be, well, we don't have anywhere to go. Well, the demand is so high right now and the inventory is so low, we may be able to sell it and a range where you can remain in the property. You can still occupy the property after closing for up to 6 months. That's a possibility. Like, don't let don't make assumptions that keep you from investigating whether or not it's the right thing, because there's buyers out there that are willing to compromise on occupancy in order to get the property.
No question. Let me give you an example, Greg. I just put a home in Carolina Forest on the market, and it was the same scenario. The couple is building a home. Their home is not going to be ready until the end of June. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, maybe we should wait. And I was like, no, let's not wait. I know we could put this on the market. We could sell it in a day. Okay. Not only did I list it for more money that they wanted for, we got a full price offer, closing in 45 days so the seller can actually get their money, get their proceeds, and know that it's a done deal, not have to worry about having 2 homes. Then we negotiated where the seller can stay there until the end of June for free.
Mm-hmm. For free.
Right. So, I mean, that's not always going to be the case where it's free, but it's easy to negotiate a lease back. And okay, so they pay a little bit of rent. But the bottom line is you're able right now, because there's no inventory out there. You have all the leverage as a seller. You're able to get, number one, get top dollar. And then number two, be able to lease back or rent it back or get it back for free or whatever until you're ready to go. You have that much leverage right now if you're a seller.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, what else you got?
I think I just lost my. Okay, well, we'll go.
Yeah, I can hear you. So your audio is perfect, and I can still see your screen.
That's fine. We'll go without my image. Okay. I think people will be able to survive without seeing me. All right, so new construction, 68.8%. We're getting close to 70 on this one.
Yep, we sure are.
I'm thinking by next week or 2 weeks, I think we're gonna get over 70% on that number. And then here's the condo market, Greg. Check this out. 56.5%. This is usually in the low 20s this time of year. Usually with 22, 24, maybe 28% if things get hot. We're at 56% of all the this is all the condos in the entire market right now that are on the market. Almost 57% of them are under contract with buyers right now. Currently. And then when you look at the oceanfront, you'll see a crazy number there as well. 41.6%. And again, there's going to be some out of that inventory. There's going to be a lot of condos that have competition. There's going to be like maybe 5 or 6, 7 buildings that have a bunch of units in there. And then the rest of them, there's just not much out there. There's just not many options out there for people. So if you've got a condo, especially in one of the low-rise buildings right now, North Myrtle Beach low-rise buildings, there's nothing out there. There's no competition out there. You pretty much, you can pick the price that you want within reason, as long as it can appraise. I think you'll find a buyer for it.
Abe, I'm interested, not today, but I would be very interested. It'd be neat to actually, maybe for next week, if you have the time, if you took out the Palace, the Landmark, and I'm sure there's one more building that we could choose that has an extraordinary amount of inventory. I can't think of the third building, but let's just assume that there is a third building that we could locate. and you took those 3 buildings out of this equation, I wonder what that number would look like then. Because you take like a landmark might have 30 or 40 units available.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if we took out total units on the market, we took theirs out, and you took that just those 2 buildings would drop that $1,200 unit number. That would drop that under 1,200. It'd be in the 1,100, and then when you refactor the percent that's pending, that number is going to change. And we're only talking about 3 buildings.
Significantly. Yeah, there's going to be maybe 5 buildings in all that have a good bit of inventory still. I mean, if you own in there, this may not be the time to put it on the market. But you take those 5 buildings out of the equation, there is nothing out there for buyers. Yeah, I can break it down by building.
Yeah, and I'm only, again, not all buildings, right? I'm just saying if you just took out 2 or 3 buildings, I would just, because I think that would give a better reflection, because these numbers are the total units on the market is kind of skewed by just a couple buildings that are lagging, that are underperforming in today's market. If we took those out, we would even see a different picture. It'd be pretty interesting.
No question.
Okay.
And let's look at the land.
Your camera's back, by the way.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody out there is pleased.
Yeah. Everyone started to smile now.
All right, land, Greg, about the same as last week.
Yeah.
Just under 23%, which is still very strong. Again, same thing with land. There's going to be some communities that have a good bit of land still out there as far as inventory, but when you look across the whole market, there's just not a whole lot out there for buyers. And
if you're building an individual home, let's just say that you're going to buy a lot and you're building a home, and it's going to be a custom home, because that's where a lot of these land sales are coming from, right? They couldn't find a house to buy, so now they're going to go buy a lot. And the challenge right now that I would say is kind of keeping the lot market a little bit flat, even though it's healthy, it seems to have plateaued. Doesn't seem to be going down, doesn't seem to be going up. But what I'm imagining is happening here is, if you're a buyer of land, well, first of all, to even get a builder that's not busy to be able to start building soon is hard to accomplish. It's really tough to find a builder that can start building anytime soon. So the lag time before they could even build it is going to be 8, 9 months, 10 months, even close to a year. So a lot of buyers are going to shy away from that because they don't want to wait that long. It used to be 6 months, now it's a year. Then on top of that, the building costs are gone up so much that it's hard to predict what the final price of your house is going to be in a custom home. It's a little bit easier for D.R. Horton, a large national builder, to kind of set a price and predict what their pricing is going to be and what their profit margins are. But when you're only building one house and you're building custom, you're not ordering everything at the same time. So you're thinking that your price is going to be X to build your house. But by the time 2 to 3 months go along and you have to order the drywall, well, then the drywall costs have gone up and you didn't plan for that. So there's some variables that can't be controlled and it's hard to project. And I think that makes it difficult for people. Now, I do know that there are builders out there that are buying 2 or 3 lots and putting up houses, but they're doing it in bulk so they can control the costs a lot more. But I think that that's kind of one of the challenges with buying land right now.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, I mean, construction costs. Again, like you said, you just can't find help.
That's right.
The subs are all busy. It's hard to get them out there to doing work. Yeah.
Yeah. And the prices, even the prices of not only the supplies, but the labor costs, as well as the builder. The builder, they're busy. And when they're busy, yes, they'll take on another build, but usually it comes on at an extra few percent. And what we find is, at one time you could go build a house, and and your overall cost might be lower than what you could buy something on the market. Right now, if you go and build, you're not probably going to have any savings. You may even be pricing, the final build cost may be higher than what you could buy off the shelf.
And that's saying a lot. Yeah.
Yes, that's saying a lot. Well, hey, Thank you again for the numbers. You know, Abe, you know, I appreciate you put in the hard work so we can have these discussions. And for those of you who are out there that are thinking of buying, selling, just need information about your properties, please reach out to us. You see our cell numbers there at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to reach out to us. And listen, you do not have to be ready to list the property to reach out to us. We're here to provide information to you all. We want to be your real estate resource for all things around the Myrtle Beach real estate market. Talk to you next week. Thanks, Abe.
Enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching.
All right.